HVAC filters, canister lighting, and more. Habitat Restores rely on generous donations to help them create home ownership opportunities. The new Restore is located at 1392 Industrial Park Avenue in Redlands. Restore is open Wednesdays through Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Restore in Redlands, restoring lives.
Yeager's Diesel and Auto in Yucaipa says it's hard being away from home during the holidays, but even harder if you're a soldier overseas securing our freedom. Send letters and packages and say prayers for our troops overseas. Remember, they're fighting for our freedom. This message courtesy of Yeager's Diesel and Auto at 13394 Calamasa Boulevard in Yucaipa. Known for quality, integrity, and knowledgeable service. Call 909-795-8210. Yeager's Diesel and Auto is on the air because they care.
Hi, I'm food critic Alan Borgen, and I'm excited to tell you about Ray's Shanghai Bistro, located next to Redlands DMV on Lagonia in Redlands. Ray's Shanghai Bistro offers the largest and most delicious array of traditional and original Chinese dishes available in the Inland Empire. Some of my favorite dishes are the house-made pot stickers, the crisp pork spare ribs with garlic, their unique spicy lamb with bamboo, the sweet and tangy deep-fried orange peel beef, and the savory basil spicy shrimp, plus lots of vegetarian dishes. Whether you dine in, pick up the food, or have them cater your next party or special occasions, you will see why Ray's, spelled R-U-I'-S, Shanghai Bistro, is truly the best Chinese restaurant in the Inland Empire. Their website is raysshanghaibistro.net. That's raysshanghaibistro.net. R-U-I-S, shanghaibistro.net. Happy eating. You won't be disappointed.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Taylor. The Israel-Hamas war is now on day 61. Israel says its forces are operating in the heart of southern Gaza's main city as it's believed Hamas leaders are being housed in the area. The United Nations said Israel's ground invasion is creating an increasingly apocalyptic situation for Palestinians in the southern part of the region as food, water, and medicine are running very low. U.S. officials say an American warship shot down a drone from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. The military officials said it happened in the southern Red Sea, and there was no damage to the USS Mason or any personnel. Republicans in both chambers are vowing not to support any new foreign aid package unless it's paired with measures to help deal with a surge of illegal immigration. Texas Congressman Jody Arrington says this is to address the flow of illicit drugs into his border state.
The number one job is to keep the American people safe, and they're not safe.
4 Republican candidates will be on stage tonight for the 4th GOP presidential debate. The University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa will host the debate. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former South Carolina Governor and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy will field questions from journalists and will likely go after each other as they have in the first 3 meetups. The debate will be live streamed on News Nation. Former President Donald Trump, who continues to hold a huge lead in polling, will skip tonight's debate as he has the first 3. A mass shooting suspect on the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas is dead. That's according to the Metropolitan Police Department. The department adds there appears to be multiple victims at this time. There is a massive police presence on the scene. Norman Lear, the producer and writer of some of the biggest hits on TV, has died at the age of 101. He's best known for creating 1970 sitcoms Maude and All in the Family.
You are a meathead. A meathead, dead from the neck up.
In 1968, Lear was nominated for an Academy Award for his writing of Divorce American Style. Lear died at his home in Los Angeles of natural causes. You're listening to the latest on NBC News Radio.
Welcome to Teamster Roundup with Randy Korgan, a brand new show about labor and worker issues. The host of the show is Randy Korgan, Secretary, Treasurer, and Principal Office and leader of Teamsters 1932, one of the largest public sector labor unions on the West Coast, representing workers in government and non-sworn law enforcement personnel. Randy Korgan is a 30-year Teamster who first became involved in the labor movement by volunteering his time as an organizer with the Teamsters Union at the age of 21. Since then, he's helped thousands organize, mobilize, and achieve bargaining rights. He accomplished this by spending countless hours with brave men and women all over Southern California, in their living rooms, on the picket line, to bring workers towards victory. And now here's the host of the show, Randy Korgan.
You're listening to KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. You are now in the Worker Power Hour. We have found our name. I'm excited about it. I love the name. I think it really ties into a lot of good stuff. The Worker Power Hour. What do you think, Frank? You like that? Yeah. Romaldo, you like that? I give him a thumbs up over there. See, Frank's not ready. What's that? You dig it?
I dig it. It's got a catchy ring to it.
Yeah, it took us a bit, so now we're gonna have to do some, some of our intros and stuff like that, and our lead-ins, and I think we've nailed on it, landed on it. Worker Power Hour. It really ties in everything that we do, a lot of the education and stuff. So we're excited about that. I'm excited. Randy Korgan here, longtime organizer, first-time radio host. Like I said, I'm gonna be able to get away with saying that for quite some time, and I'm gonna keep reminding you of it because I've been a labor organizer for 30 years, and I just started doing this radio gig. So I'm having a little fun with it. I got some really cool people here with me today. I got James Estrada and Eli Salazar. We're going to be talking to them. They're from the city of Redlands. They are Teamsters in the city of Redlands, and they make sure the city of Redlands operates every day. We got some exciting things to cover here with them, not just talking about what they do in the city to make sure that it goes round and round every single day, but also the good impacts that they make with the city and with the community and what they do within the community as a whole. Again, union workers kind of get taken for granted every day at their contribution, one, and two, how much they contribute to the community and how we can tie all that stuff together. And so I'd like to start the show today. I'd like to talk about Teamster jobs. And the first three jobs that we're going to talk about today, many of you listeners may not know. Even you longtime Teamsters or you longtime union members may not know that if you go to Disneyland, that our Teamster members operate the rides at Disneyland and are the characters you take pictures with when you see what you see in the parade. There are over 36 unions at Disneyland right now that you can get. You can get a churro from. You can get, the security, the fire department. Essentially, all the unions. The entire park is union represented, but Teamsters make sure that we don't just operate the rides, and if I remember correctly, we also operate the trams. So if you're in the parking area and you get shuttled all the way to Disneyland, to the park from the parking area, those are Teamsters that are carrying you around. And obviously, if somebody being funny calls you Mickey Mouse, don't take offense to it. Sometimes we're Daffy Duck, sometimes we're Mickey Mouse, whatever it may be. They are Teamsters too. The next one I think is really cool to point out is the San Diego Zoo. They are members of Teamsters Local 481 down in San Diego, and they represent all the people who care for the animals and teach all the visitors all the fun facts about the animals at the zoo. So one of the things we like to say is that Teamsters are everything from airline pilots to zookeepers. Guess what? It's true. San Diego Zoo, zookeepers, those individuals down there, Teamsters Local 481, great members. And next time you're down there, if you happen to be down there, just tell them you're a Teamster too, if you happen to be one, or just recognize that's a good union worker there that's taking care of those amazing animals and doing some great work. And then the movies. I know we had SAG-AFTRA on here a couple shows ago, and a lot of people don't realize, I now, my last almost 30 years, I actually watch a movie all the way to the end of the credits because I want to see if the Teamster symbol's on it. The Teamster insignia is on it at the very end, giving credit to Teamsters that do jobs for the movies, like drive the vehicles around, drive the shuttle buses, drive the actors around on many cases. Also, they make the snow and the rain in the movies. They make sure that all the movie actors and actresses' movie trailers are moved around and in the right space. And clearly, if you look at the end of the movie, look in the movie credits and look for the Teamster symbol there at the very end. That'll tell you if Teamsters actually worked on that movie and actually handled the set. So I think that's 3 pretty cool facts. I don't know. I know Frank doesn't have his headset on and stuff, but I don't know if anybody, is caught a little bit by surprise. Romaldo's going to jump in here. I don't know if anybody wants to say something about that.
No, I think it's great that these organizations are union related. And it's interesting because I've gone to Disneyland before and I was wearing my Teamster jacket. I didn't say anything, but as soon as I was entering the parking lot, the parking attendant said, "You're a Teamster? Or why are you wearing that?" And I said, "Well, I work for Local 1932. I work for Randy Korgan." And they said, "So you're a Teamster?" And, after reaffirming yes, or saying yes, he said, "Teamsters help out one another. Come on in."
Oh, nice.
No parking, so I saved myself $30 because of that.
Yeah, well, hopefully their boss isn't listening here and we're not getting them in trouble anyway. Yeah. But yeah, no, Teamsters take care of each other. It's, wear your brand, make sure everybody understands. That's a good story. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for sharing. All right, let's get into some recent events and some news. Well, first let me do the follow-up from the last story. Let me do just a quick recap. Wasn't Michael amazing on the last show? That Amazon driver, called in, talked about his struggles that he faced. Michael Lieb, he's hopefully he listens again. He actually, I know Michael will. He was all fired up after being on the show, and he just recognizes the connectivity that being in a union has created, the collaboration, the camaraderie with one another. But yeah, he did a great job. Anything stick out to you guys, Frank or Romaldo, on hearing from Michael last week and what he said?
I'm still baffled to learn that Amazon is trying to pass off the giant Amazon truck is not an Amazon truck. Someone else's truck. We just determine how much they make, their hours. We give them the packages to deliver for us, but they don't work for us. I was amazed to learn that. I had no idea. I saw the big Amazon delivery vans run around. I always assumed those guys were, on paper, part of Amazon, but
yeah, they're not. Matter of fact, any vehicle you see out there that has an Amazon brand on it is not. They may own the trailer on a big rig, but they don't own the rig. What's pulling it, the driver that's pulling it, is actually a subcontracted driver or somebody else. The delivery, the small vans that are driving around the neighborhoods, those technically, how do they get away with this? Not even,
Yet Amazon's able to determine their wages, which is what's really odd.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think adding to Frank's point, something to that shocked me was that, okay, yeah, you don't work for us. That's Amazon saying that to these employees. But if there's an issue that they have to deal with, they have to go to the company instead of going to whoever's contracting them, which makes absolutely no sense because it's this big roller coaster of ups and downs and hoops and hurdles that they have to go through, yet the company doesn't recognize them.
I think the issue he pointed out was, being off route or something going on his route. And then immediately someone from Amazon's calling the dispatcher saying, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?" Like, that's a bit scary. Like, so you're driving a vehicle that says Amazon, but it's not Amazon's. Your uniform reads Amazon, but it's not Amazon's. All the equipment you're holding states Amazon, but they say it's not theirs. It's someone else's responsibility. And then if you have to use the restroom because you don't want to, go to the bathroom in a bush or something, somebody's calling you, asking you why you're off route. And that's just crazy. So I think Michael did a really, really good job of articulating the struggle, articulating what those workers are doing. And I just, really, really appreciate that work that they're doing. And it's a reminder, it's a call to action. We're doing a lot of fundraising right now for those workers. We'd really like you to donate, even if it's just, $10 or $5 or $15 to help these workers get through the holiday season. Remember, these workers are taking on one of the largest employers and corporations in the world, and taking a position that you're going to respect the work that we do, and you're going to recognize you have responsibilities, Amazon. And these workers are taking it right to them by walking off the job and striking them and then extending their pickets and asking other workers to honor that picket line. And it's happened all over the country. I went through a list of all the different states, all the different cities that they have had other workers join them in that struggle. And it's important for us to recognize how important that struggle is in that industry, and that these individuals are really doing a good job of kind of trying to change the industry themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, after that interview, I decided to do a research paper on it as well. So I decided to reach out to the company for a statement in regards to everything taking place. And the company said, there's nothing to worry about. Our sales are going great and we're not being impacted. Well, they didn't say that, but when I made that direct ask, they just avoided the question and then just give me their reports as to what their sales look like for Cyber Monday. Because that interview took place during Cyber Monday. So it was very interesting, too, I wanted to get that different perspective from Amazon, and they just declined to answer.
Yeah, and, just because they keep making money by exploiting everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I get out of it. So, again, thanks, Michael. Thank you, all those workers. Let's make sure that we can post something on our website. I think we do have something to post on our website to fundraise for the Amazon workers, correct?
Yes, and if you are interested in donating, you can visit our website. That website is 1932teamsters.org. That's where you will find that link to donate directly to that account.
Thanks, Romaldo. The next, let's talk about some current labor news. Congratulations to those workers at MGM Detroit. They've ratified a union contract. They had a long battle. They were actually on strike, I think it was for 47 days. Let me pull out my notes here to get that in front of me.
47 days. It was 5 unions involved, and at a point they started a wall-to-wall strike. So other hotels or casinos started taking place, and eventually MGM was the last one to just ratify their contract.
So this was a casino, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it was a casino, and obviously they just ratified it. So they went back to work while it was out. And again, you look at these situations where workers are taking on corporate America, they're taking on casinos. You just had the Culinary take on Las Vegas, all the big casinos in Las Vegas. And, we have this, I'll talk about this in a couple of minutes, but this record year of workers, taking some direct action and trying to take control. The agreement includes some of the largest wage increases that they've ever seen, which is up to 18%. No increase in their health care premiums that they're going to have to pay. Issues around workload reduction. Clearly, you have a state situation where corporations are trying to make things more productive by making you do more, which you got to talk through that. But the cool thing about being in a union is that you have to bargain through that too. You can't just dump extra responsibilities on individuals. And from what I understand, workers are going to get an immediate $3 an hour per raise, $3 per hour raise. Good for them. Congratulations to them. Obviously, if they worked at a casino, I don't know if you know anybody that works at a casino, but most people that work at a casino are dramatically underpaid. Matter of fact, most of them are really hovering at minimum wage, if not at minimum wage, while some of these corporations are just killing it. I mean, they're clearly got these huge profits. People are going in and dropping all their money and gambling and drinking. Last time I was in Vegas, a beer was $12 or something like that. It was $12. That's crazy. And somehow, the Teamsters were crooked when they ran Vegas. But, I can tell you this, a beer was only 50 cents or a quarter or something like that. No one was taking advantage of the customer coming in, and beer was much cheaper. So obviously we got to have a little fun with that one. I think Romaldo pointed out, wall-to-wall strike in the very beginning that worked its way down to resolution, and 47 days on the street. That's a long time. Congratulations to them. What we'll do is we'll try to work one of them into the show, at a future show at some time if we can, have them talk directly about their struggles and what they did. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that before we move on to the next.
No, absolutely. And I think where I want to head with this is in that next article that we'll talk later on today, just the great things that workers are doing just nationwide.
Yeah. The next one is the Cal State faculty strike. Many of you may not realize 29,000 employees for Cal State in California, the California State faculty. They went on strike over benefits, parental leave, a number of issues around their workloads. Stuff what you would think is simple stuff like access to breastfeeding stations for women and gender inclusive restrooms, making sure that you obviously make sure that the restrooms are reflect the area. I mean, let's say you have 2 restrooms, 1 man, 1 woman, but you actually have 300 people and there's only one for women. You got it's amazing that you got to argue some of this stuff, but you know what, we have the right to do that. Those one-day strikes begun Monday across 4 campuses, including 2 here in Southern California, which was Cal State LA and Cal Poly Pomona. In California State, that university system is the largest public university system in the United States. And Teamsters 2010, our sister local, actually represents plumbers, electricians, maintenance workers at the universities, and they also held one-day strikes in October. So you actually have a lot of labor disruption in Cal State, in the Cal State system throughout the state through lots of different bargaining units. And there's going to be more of that until they actually come to a resolution. And so lastly, I want to just point out that last year, teaching assistants and graduate student workers at the UC schools went on strike for a month, disrupting classes. So clearly, the Cal State system is going to have to kind of get their ducks in orders a little bit.
Right.
They've got a lot of disruption happening in a lot of spaces.
Yeah, it's going from faculty to students upset about tuition going up. It goes all over. I know that for female professors, what they want is that maternity leave to be extended for a full year rather than 6 weeks. And the reason why, it's because they argue that, and I totally agree as a student, that when they head out, there's an intern professor involved, and then when they come back, it's complete chaos because they don't know where they left off, and obviously teaching methods are different from one professor to another.
Yeah, and teachers count too, right? Like, at the end of the day, we're all working people. Some of us have education, some of us don't. Some of us, it may just be, blue collar work. But when working people get into a space where we feel like because of our qualifications or education, we're above one another, that's where the employer or the corporations capitalize on it. They get us to fight with each other, and then we end up fighting over pennies while they're stealing dollars and unloading them out the back door on us. And so the last point I want to make on recent news and updates as far as what's going on this segment of the show is the Wall Street Journal ran an article about how labor unions in 2023 was the year of the strike and the big victories. And there's just some numbers that really stick out. Let me touch on them before we just have a brief conversation about it. Nearly 500,000 workers were on strike. Now, I think that number actually eclipses 500,000 because it's so close. 492,000. So you clearly have more time left in the year, number one, for that 8,000 to eclipse. And plus, they can't also quantify everybody that's on strike because not all of them are like connected to some government agency. Right. Sometimes it's a day or it's a half a day or a couple hours. Workers are striking for recognition, and it's a very short engagement. And as a result of it, I would like to say, even though it says 492 here, it's more than 500,000. Think about that. 500,000 workers walked off the job this year, taken a position to do something different, for their employer to do something different. Obviously Hollywood, the big three. I mean, we nearly had a 500,000 by ourselves. It's over 300,000 in the Teamsters, and that was avoided by a very good contract in August and September. But clearly, imagine if that would have happened too. You'd have a number here that eclipses 800,000. You'd be knocking almost on 1 million workers' doors that were on the street this year. And then, you want to talk about the reasons? Well, I think, you get into all this stuff. Why? Lots of victories, whether it's raises, most importantly, retirement plans, working conditions, usually fighting over the future, AI issues, electrification, things around, future challenges in a particular industry, making sure that those things are covered. And, you know, we really need to pay attention to the sacrifice those 500,000 workers have made in this last year.
Absolutely.
That benefits everybody else. If workers 100 and some years ago hadn't gone on strike for an 8-hour workday, we wouldn't have an 8-hour workday today. If workers hadn't gone on strike and walked off the job for safe working conditions or clean water or you know, driving conditions that made it to where people didn't die on the road or be so fatigued while they're driving a truck that they ended up falling asleep at the wheel and killing people. You know, these are areas in which workers go on strike and then they change the industry, and it actually prevents others from having to do the same thing. And so I think it's really important for us to point out this has been the biggest number of strikes since before the recession in 2008, right? Isn't it that's what it points out?
Yes, and actually, what it also points out is that for many, this is actually the first contract negotiations that these workers have ever been involved with since COVID-19 as well. So it's a lot going on. I think something also important to mention now that, you know, history was also done in the making, because you had, you know, nurses and doctors perform the largest healthcare strike. And then recently, during the last show, we talked about the UAW strike with the auto workers. And then we also had history there with the president actually joining the picket line. And this is the first time a U.S. president has ever joined a picket line, or at least has been recorded.
Yeah, and it's smart because 74% of Americans support unions right now. Statistically, it shows that 74%, and the cool statistic is those under 25, it's more than 80%. So, you know, people say, oh, youth don't understand. Like, from our perspective, it sounds to me like the youth understands better than everybody else, because more than 80% of adults under 25 support unions, and the number collectively is 74%, which is the highest it's ever been. And the reason for it is because, guess what? Corporations can't help themselves. They have gotten too greedy. Healthcare is unaffordable to a lot of people. Retirement vehicles do not exist in a lot of ways. And, you know, corporations are getting greedier and greedier. And then even the good corporations or good businesses that are trying to compete in that space, it creates a problem. It creates an issue. And so it's really important for us to pay attention to that sacrifice. I'm being told I got a minute here, so I'll wind this down. Again, I'm a longtime organizer, first-time radio host, so my transitions aren't as smooth as, I guess, you know, some other professionals at this stuff. So I'll work my way through it in the best way I can. And so that's what's in the news here recently. Hopefully that helps kind of get everybody up to speed on what's happening. If there's things you'd like to hear from us, hey, feel free to call us toll-free 888-909-1050. You are listening to KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. We're going to commercial break.
Located in the heart of San Bernardino, California, the Teamsters Local 1932 Training Center is designed to train workers for high-demand, good-paying jobs in various industries throughout the Inland Empire. If you want a pathway to a high-paying job and the respect that comes with a union contract, visit 1932trainingcenter.org to enroll today. That's 1932trainingcenter.org.
KCAA Loma Linda. The Legacy KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
Are you looking for a good union job? The Inland Empire's 14,000-member-strong Teamsters Local 1932 has opened a training center to get working people trained and placed in open positions in public service clerical work and in jobs in the logistics industry. This is a new opportunity to advance your career and raise standards across the region. Visit 1932trainingcenter.org to enroll today. That's 1932trainingcenter.org.
Labor unions built the middle class, and the middle class built America. That's the message from Teamsters Local 1932, a strong and successful labor union based in San Bernardino that represents over 14,000 hardworking people across the Inland Empire. The Teamsters are ready to help you organize for better pay, increased benefits, and improved working conditions. Reach out to Teamsters 1932 at teamsters1932.org/organize to speak with an organizer today.
You are listening to KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. It is the Worker Power Hour with Randy Korgan. Worker Power Hour. I love this. I think we nailed it. I was kicking the names of the show around to a whole bunch of people through some text strings, and then finally a few days ago we fell on it. Carlos Gonzalez pulled the trigger on it as we were kicking some ideas back and forth, and I went, oh my goodness, I think that's it. Thank you, Carlos. Worker Power Hour. We're going to dedicate this half hour to you for helping us come up with that name. We have James Estrada and Eli Salazar with us. They are both Redlands employees of the city of Redlands, and they are Teamsters. So good afternoon, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Randy? Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're pretty excited.
Yeah, so let's start with you, James. Why don't you just quickly introduce yourself and tell everybody listening what you do.
All right, so I'm James Estrada. Been with the city of Redlands for almost 18 years now. In January, it'll be 18 years. I'm the supervisor for the sewer division.
For the sewer division?
So the technical term is actually, the title is wastewater collection system supervisor.
You are a very important person in the city, right? In other words, if things get backed up, it's a problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's to put it lightly, things are supposed to be flowing downhill, not going uphill. And so if they're going uphill, then yeah, we definitely have a problem.
And, so this is kind of the point of the show is that someone flushes their toilet and it goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It goes bye-bye. This is modern technology. Bye. And it's guys like you that make sure never get to see it again.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And you would be surprised.
Gotta love a Teamster.
It's a dirty job, right? Somebody's got to do it. My crew and I, we're proud to provide this service to the community. There's some believe it or not, there's some educational components to it in terms of educating our community and the public in general on what not to flush down the toilet.
Yeah, you shouldn't be flushing wipes, right?
That's it, 100%. Wipes is probably the number one cause for, backups in the sewer lines in general, not just in Redlands, but, just in general. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get into some more of that stuff in a minute. I'd like Eli to introduce himself too, and let's talk about the cool work that he does. Eli.
Yeah, so Eli Salazar, I've been with the city for 7.5 years, and I'm a crew leader with the water distribution department. So our job is to make sure the residents, City of Redlands, Mentone, part of Loma Linda, have clean drinking water. Also to bathe in and all that. So
you test this water, right, on a regular basis?
We have a water production side of it.
So you make sure the water gets there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when it gets flushed, he makes sure it goes away.
It goes away. So we have a water production that makes sure they do the water quality testing and make sure it's all clean for you guys to drink. Yeah.
So just give me a quick idea of what are the things that you could find in the water if you don't test them, in other words, or when you do test, what kind of red flags does it send up? And essentially what I'm trying to do is point out how important this job is to all the residents within Redlands, right? And that if it wasn't for this job, what are the things that could happen? What could come out of the pipes? Because it's magic. You turn on the pipe
and it's clean.
And water comes out clean.
Yeah, well, I think majority of our water comes from the surface, and especially rains, the quality of just taking the water from a lake or a reservoir. There's a lot of organic matter. There's a lot of solids in that have to be treated to get that out of the water so we can drink it. Bacteria. So there's a lot that goes to it, for sure.
So this is perfect. I'm sandwiched by the person who makes sure the water comes in and the water goes out.
Yeah.
You're getting rid of certain things on your side so it comes in clean, and then it gets dirty, and then you get rid of it. Circle of life, you got to love this stuff. Teamsters are making Redlands go round every single day. So So let's go back to you, James. Let's talk about what would you like to tell residents about your job? Because there's a couple things I want to do here. I want to talk about not just your job, and so that people understand how important it is, but I also want to spend a little bit of time talking about your connection to the community. We'll do that in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's get them to know you first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as far as the job, like I said, one of the biggest components is an educational piece, right? To communicate, not with just parents, but even the children as well, to remind them of what not to flush down the toilet. It's important that they understand that when we have a sewer backup, more than likely it's going to come out of two places. It's either going to come out of the sewer manhole in the middle of the street, or it's going to come out of someone's toilet or tub, right? And so both are nasty, right?
Is it true you found a Red Wing once?
Yes, we did, actually. Yeah.
Tell the story. What happened?
Yeah, so that was great, right? So this was some odd years ago, right? But a resident had called in, and somehow, some way, she accidentally, I don't remember if she washed it down the sink or in the toilet, but she lost her wedding ring. And she never thought she was going to see it again, but she said, hey, you know what, let me call the city of Redlands, see if they can help us retrieve this ring. So my crew and I went out there, and we did what we do. We have a cleaning truck, a gap vac truck, and we flush out this line.
So
right?
all this criticism that public employees get, you're going out there to find a resident's wedding ring, the sentimental value to that ring.
Absolutely.
You guys understand that, you get that, and
It's
you're going to
important.
make sure that you find that.
Yeah, that was something that was, very important for that, that resident to get back. That was something major.
So how much stuff did you have to go through to get it?
Well, so
because I imagine it got caught with some other stuff.
It did, yeah, absolutely. Fortunately, she called right away, so we were able to find it, rather quickly. It's a whole setup. We have a sewer truck, right? We send a hose down. We know how many feet we need to send it out.
And you calculated about how far it would
Correct.
be.
Absolutely, yeah. That's exactly what it is. We knew it was about 250 feet out, and we send the hose in, and when we pull the hose back with the water, we're going to drag back. That's how we clean. We drag back what's in the line, right? And we have a little basket that we put at the bottom to catch debris that's not supposed to be in that sewer line. And in this instance, we caught the ring, fortunately.
Man, that is incredible.
Yeah, it was exciting. Yeah, we were happy. The resident was happy.
Frank's applauding in the background. Yes, absolutely.
Appreciate that, Frank. Yeah, so we've retrieved rings and, car keys. We've had some car keys. I don't know how they get flushed down the toilet, but that happens. So yeah, we've done, we've come across a lot of interesting stuff.
You're going to get a lot more calls for sure.
Probably now, yeah.
Now if you're listening, you'd be like,
sure.
oh man, I flushed my favorite penny.
Yeah.
Went away. Can you help me find it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, think about the things that accidentally, I've seen it. People bend over, they got your phone in their pocket.
Yeah.
Boom, stuff goes out of their pocket, all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
So Eli, tell me a little bit, tell me a funny story, or maybe, a situation, or, something you think people should know about your job.
It's pretty straightforward. Basically, our job is a lot of fixing. We have a lot of old.
So when someone hits a hydrant,
so definitely when we get that a lot. People that like to have fun downtown, and they hit hydrants, they hit backflows.
How do they hit a hydrant? Having fun.
You could be down a stretch of highway, and there's the only one hydrant, and it's like
they're
a
gonna
car
hit
magnet. They're gonna hit it. So our job, it kind of stinks when it's in the middle of the night and it's cold in the wintertime. But
you get overtime for that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you get
the union makes sure that you get.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Get paid well for
exactly. We get paid well for
Absolutely.
it. And so we shut it down and make a repair because that's our fire protection right there.
So this is your first union job, correct?
This is my first union job, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So you like being a Teamster?
Of course, yeah.
What are one of the reasons you really like being a Teamster, or I should say, love being a Teamster?
Well, it's the unity, the group atmosphere, the looking out for one another. That it's a big part of it. Yeah.
So let's talk about. There was something I watched your group do. You led by James primarily over the last couple years, where you're standing on street corners and you're holding signs and you're not actually angry, you're not protesting about things. It's okay to do that. We live in America. I'm absolutely for that. But what you were doing was you're actually encouraging the residents to shop local. You and your fellow members, Teamsters in the city of Redlands, you were going out and engaging the community and asking them to shop local. Isn't that right, James?
Yeah, so we had that set up. That was we ran that in, I think it was towards the end of 2022 is when we ran that, and we did it on a lot of Saturdays early in the morning. And so how that came about is we knew at some point in time we were going to be going into contract negotiations. We weren't sure what we were up against. We wanted to find a way. We were looking to find a way to test our membership to see if they'd be ready to take actions. And in doing so, I was brainstorming with our business agent, Rich Smith, and I came up with the idea of, hey, you know what, let's support small businesses. Let's get out there. Let's get people holding signs. We have a great connection, that we're working on with the community. And we went ahead and decided to do shop local, spend local. Our city prides itself on spending local, so do all of our Teamster members, right? So that was definitely something we were happy to do on a lot of weekends.
So follow your Redlands employees on social media at Redlands underscore employees. And so you can actually follow them on social media in the activities in which you're doing.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yeah.
And so talk about some of the engagement you had with some of the small business owners in the area. Obviously they see you saying, hey, shop local. What did that turn into? Because that connects to, many of you may not know, listening to, we have this, what we call the Teamster Advantage program, and we have more than 1,000 small businesses in the Inland Empire and the greater area that are connected to our network, that we do not charge a dime to these small businesses. And what we do is we advertise to our membership between Locals 1932 and Local 63, which is more than 30,000 Teamster families. And obviously that is more than 100,000 individuals, where we advertise for free to those individuals and say, hey, shop with this connection. We have our own app. We send out push notifications. And the purpose to all that is to get our members to shop local, to connect to their local businesses, to connect to their local economy, make sure the local dollars stay in the local economy and recirculate versus going to a Walmart or going to somewhere else and being pulled out of our local economy. So explain how you built some new relationships with those businesses in these actions.
Yeah, absolutely. So but between the actions, also with our social media, we were able to have a real presence out there amongst the the small business owners in our town, right? And so literally a lot of them had just seen us in town as they would drive by. They were honking and waving, communicating with us on social media. Some wanted to know, hey, what is Teamster Advantage about? What's going on here? We had one business owner, Brandon Pierce from Citrones, who actually came up and said, hey,
I love Citrones.
Yeah, Citrones is great.
Anybody who wants a good meal, go to Citrones.
Yeah, Citrones, yeah. So,
great meal.
So actually stopped us.
Yeah, he came up and stopped us. So that that's a prime example. He saw us in action out there, literally, right? And
you better send him this.
I'm going to send him, absolutely.
I mean the show.
Yeah, we will have to. Yeah. Free
advertising,
right?
for free right
now.
now.
Absolutely. So he came out, communicated with us. He asked what we were doing. We told him. He said, "I love it." He said, "How do I join?" I said, "We'll get you signed up."
And he hooked you up with a couple beers that night.
He took care of us that night because
what a great guy.
He saw what we were doing. He saw the impact that it's making, and he saw nothing but good stuff coming out of what we were doing.
And what we should do in the future is pull someone like him into the show, right? It's the idea is to get everybody to understand that unions aren't this ooh, the boogeyman's going to come get you. It's this crazy, situation that corporate America's narrative has won over. Like, we're doing good stuff every day. Not only does the water come in and the water go out with these two, we're also making connections with small businesses in a way to encourage people to, instead of going to Applebee's or going to, some, big chain, Macaroni Grill or, Fleming's or I guess, Fleming's would be a big chain. They're owned by big chain. Go to Citrones. Man, they have great food. I know I go there as much as I can whenever I can work it in. It's hard to get on there because you need to make a reservation there because if you don't, I've actually gone there thinking, this time of the day it's going to be okay, and I've actually not been able to get in because I didn't make a reservation. So it's popular, but clearly let's reward those individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, for me, the
how many beers did he buy?
I don't remember, and that might be that'll tell you right there, right? But as far as Teamster Advantage goes, the connection we're making with the community, and I explained this with a lot of the Teamster members here. This is full circle. We have public employees providing a service to the community, working hard, and then we're turning around, putting our money back into our community, right? Strengthening the tax base. It's going to help help us continue to provide these public funds that our community members enjoy, right, by these public employees. So
instead of going to Krispy Kremes, we go where?
To Dough.
To Dough.
Yeah, we go to
the
Dough.
exit silent.
Yeah.
You see this little box right here if you're on here and you're taking a look on this? So what's that, Mark? I can't hear you.
I said it's a brand new.
Yeah,
brand new Teamster Advantage partner. Who scored it? Did you score it, James, or did we? What? James did? James scored it?
Yeah, so Dough, kind of a new concept as far as donuts go in Redlands. Real gourmet, grassroots. They're involved with the community.
So I'm a critic of donuts, and here's why I'm a critic of donuts. As you guys heard, I get people looking at me right now because they've heard the story before. Not everybody has. Have you heard the story?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, here's why I'm a critic of donuts. Is as a kid, I was a paper boy, and I delivered early in the morning, and my route started at 4 a.m. It was every day, Sun Telegram. We were done. I'd be done about 5:15, 5:30, and I would always exchange a paper with the donut shop.
Wow.
So I got a fresh donut. You're talking early 80s, 82, 83, 84 in there. You didn't have all these preservatives that are in there and some of these things now. And you want to talk about the freshest bear claw or the freshest donut you could ever have. So now when I eat donuts, I actually
You're spoiled.
I'm totally spoiled.
Yeah.
Because again, so I'm looking forward to trying one of these donuts and seeing how good it is. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely. So
is it that good of a donut?
It is. It is a really good. It's a really good donut. Yeah. And they have a great story too. At some point in time,
Well, tell part of it real quick.
So Nas, he has another business partner, but for Nas, he was explaining at a meeting I was at that his connection with donuts was very nostalgic for him as a kid. Parents would come home and bring the donuts, and he says he wanted to create those memories as well with his kids. And so, I guess he had this concept for many years to put a donut, a gourmet donut shop together, and him and his partner finally got together and made it happen. I think it was 10 years in the making as far as I'm having ideas, but
where are they located?
They're located on the corner of Citrus and 9th Street in Redlands.
Citrus and 9th. Make sure you guys, everybody that's listening, you visit it. You visit them, and you let them know that you heard it on the radio and that they're a Teamster Advantage partner, and that's why you're there. They offer up a discount? Obviously, if they're part of the network, they offer up something.
Yeah, 20%.
I think
it was 20%. Yeah.
So if you're a Teamster Advantage participant, if you participate in our network, you get 20% off.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of Teamster Advantage is we allow the small business to set the discount themselves. In other words, whatever they can afford to do, because some may not be able to do 20%. Some may be able to do 15%, or maybe it's a free drink, or
absolutely.
And it's all different.
Yeah, our program is unique in that way. When I was working with Mark,
it's on. You just brought it up on the screen.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah.
What were you going to say?
So working with the director of Teamster Advantage, Mark, he's kind of allowed me some freedom to link up with these local businesses, right? But you're absolutely right. The discount they're going to provide is on their terms. It's what they're comfortable with. And
that's what the Teamsters are doing for their local community.
Absolutely. And for me, one of the biggest rewards that I get out of being involved in seeing this is when I show up to, for instance, Doe just signed up yesterday, and I got a message from him today saying, "Hey, I already had Teamsters come in."
Nice. I love it.
And it was the same thing with Green Sleeve Steakhouse. I signed up Green Sleeve Steakhouse, and I went in there a few days later. And they said, "Hey, we already have someone come in here and use the Teamster Advantage card." I'm like, "Sweet." So that, for me, that's where the connection is really made.
And that's the whole. We're on the chamber. Actually, we're in 26 chambers throughout the Inland Empire, but we're actually very involved in the chamber in Redlands. Matter of fact, many of you, if you were in Redlands, you may have saw the bus in the parade that we had, and we support the ball drop and all kinds of different things over the years. We're very integrated into the space, and we're very proud of this. We're proud of this because we want to make sure that everybody understands the totality of what a union brings to the community. Every year we bring millions of dollars into a community, and we help recirculate millions of dollars through the local tax base so that you can get your clean water, so that your sewer will work properly, or the police can respond to an emergency of some sort. And again, unions and public employees get this bad rap, and here you are on your own time out there signing up small businesses, connecting the dots, not just between small businesses, the community, promoting small businesses. Instead of going to Krispy Kreme, I challenge you, if you live in Redlands, don't ever go to Krispy Kreme. I don't understand what the big to-do about Krispy Kreme is. I think it tastes terrible. Again, that's that story. I'm not going to relive it, but I'm looking forward to trying these donuts out, and go to Dough versus going to Krispy Kremes. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Versus going to, sometimes I'll say, there are some places we want you to go because those are Teamsters, like, oh, you shouldn't go to McDonald's. Well, just so you know, Teamsters actually deliver all the product to McDonald's. So, so sometimes we make sure that we take care of our brothers and sisters from throughout the system. So seeing that we're in Redlands or Loma Linda, wherever we're at here, it's kind of all blended together. And we're so close to the local community we're talking about. What are some of the other businesses that you guys have signed up? And tell me, Eli, in a minute, what your favorite Teamster Advantage business is.
So most recently too, Cornerstone Barbecue was one of our most recent as well. They signed up also, their location.
What's the discount for Cornerstone?
I believe they're 10%.
Cornerstone's
10%. They're located there on Vine Street in Redlands. They have a location, I believe, on 6th Street out in Beaumont. Rockin' Fondue, Greensleeves, Escape Brewery, both locations just signed up. Uncle Howie's Pizza, if you live in Redlands, Uncle Howie's Pizza. That's a real known popular place. Uncle Howie's Pizza and
sandwich shops. Do we have any sandwich shops?
Yeah, we have Savarino's. Yeah. Oh, you was waiting for that one. That's why you was waiting. I was going to say that for last. So,
Love Savarino's. It took us a while to get them signed up.
No, but they got on board. We have a few Kuka's locations, and even Jack's Toy Shop on State Street.
Don's Bicycle.
Don's Bicycle. Nicho's Ice Cream, all the minute. So there's many more, and forgive me to our Redlands community small businesses if I'm not putting your name out there. But I got you on social media. Don't worry, I'm supporting you. We're supporting you.
You're going to get calls from them going, how come you didn't mention name yet?
Probably, because there's a lot, and I can't think of them all right now. But yeah, at the end of the day, this has been a great way to kind of, lower the barrier between the public employee and the small business community, and to, make a connection. And like I said, and it's full circle. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's full circle.
Eli, what's your favorite place to? What's your favorite? Where's your go-to? In other words, you pull up the app, I'm going there.
We do not discriminate. Yeah, okay? that is for sure. And but
for me, it's September's.
September's is great. That was a good go-to. And James actually brought us aware of Rockin' Fondue. We always drive by it. We never bother to go inside. And then when they got became the Teamster Advantage member, we went there and we found love. Me and the missus go over there. And
it's a great place.
It's not bad at all.
Every time I go into
really
September's,
delicious.
I bump into one of you guys.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I probably shouldn't say that because sometimes you're bellied up to the bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's all right. You know where to find us.
That's all right.
You know where to find you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brew and Chew just signed up today. Brew and Chew is
just today.
Yeah, just today.
Well, you've been active this week. What's going on?
We're just busy. I just trying to find the time, communicate. And fortunately, social media has been very, our Instagram page has been very helpful in that. So, yeah, how can I
give me that. What's that address again for that?
For which one?
Which one?
Both of them.
Oh, Brew and Chews?
No. The social media page.
Oh, social media. My apologies.
Because you guys do a great job of communicating, kind of what.
Absolutely, yeah. So the social media page is Redlands_employees. Yeah. And so you find us on Instagram there. Give us a follow. And on that page too, we're also highlighting the work that our field staff's doing, right? So a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, you fixed like 1,000 potholes, but nobody complains. Everybody complains about the one they hit, not the ones that got fixed.
Absolutely. So we do have.
We get to get your pothole guy on here.
Yeah, we got to get. Next time we got to get the streets guy.
We'll get Greg.
Yeah, we have the library, rec center, cemetery.
On that, I heard a statistic. The pothole crew once they had to move like 10 tons. It was a day. It was 10 tons of asphalt or something by shovel.
Yeah.
And everybody says, "Oh, oh, they don't do anything all day. Have you ever moved 10 tons of asphalt by shovel in one day?
I don't admire. No, that's not the wrong. I don't.
You're not jealous.
I'm not jealous of what they do because it's hot. It's hot work, and when you're doing it during summertime, it has to get done. You know, so it's a needed service to fill those potholes.
What do you think, Eli, is the most unique job in the city, other than yours? That's not fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna be biased. Man, there's so much to choose from. I honestly, top of my head,
Well, once you think about it, James, can you think of one?
Yeah, so you know what I think's really fun and unique is our members that work in the senior center. They do a lot with the seniors. They have a lot of things for
community
for kids,
services
community
support.
services. They're at a lot of events, setting up on the weekends and stuff. Yeah, they do an excellent job. All of our members over there. It's a small group, but they really do an excellent job out there, and it's important what they do. Having a service there for our senior citizens.
Well, James, Eli, did you think of one?
Well, the parks, the Parks and Rec division also.
Parks.
With the whole.
Redlands has great parks.
Yeah.
All serviced by Teamsters, correct?
Yep.
Make
Correct.
Teamster
Boys and
Teamster
Girls Club,
members.
all that.
That's right. Make sure that your parks are beautiful in the city of Redlands.
Absolutely.
Thank
they
a
do.
Teamster. We
Yeah.
should thank a Teamster.
They
for
do an
that.
excellent job. Absolutely.
So, James, Eli, I want to thank you for coming on. I'm going to close up the show. I got a few minutes here. Supposed to wrap up. I think I got 3. I got 4. We're having fun with this. I'm having a great time.
Thank you.
This is, I'm a long-time organizer, first-time radio host, and this is new for me. But the way we want this show to carry on is like a conversation we're having. We just want to have a conversation with the public. We want to have a conversation so that they understand what you do, what workers, Teamster members do every day, how important it is, and not just when in time of need to make sure that I get my water and the water gets flushed, that they also recognize all these other things that go on that just kind of goes unappreciated or just without recognition. And so, we really appreciate the work that you do. We love you. We appreciate every day you're making sure that this community is got what it needs. We're there in a time of need, and our show is really based on the fact that it's pure education. In other words, let's just continue to explain to the general public, no different than when you were standing on the street corner, and making sure that everybody understood shop local and the connection to shop local. So thank you for that work. Thank you for taking such a assertive role in that. Thank you for piping out on Instagram and using social media. Follow them on Redlands_employees on social media outlets, and to make sure that you kind of see their activities, and make sure that you connect to the Teamster Advantage partners. You can actually be part of the Teamster Advantage network, even if you're not a Teamster through an associate membership program. And with that, I'm gonna wrap up the show with a couple of things that we always talk about. Number one, Randy Korgan here. I am a longtime organizer and first-time radio show host, but we want you to make sure that you are continuing to build worker power. What can you do to build worker power? We're going to roll out an entire worker power program in 2024. You're going to witness it firsthand on this show as we roll the pieces out. But it starts with you talking about worker power and what that means to your coworker, to your neighbor, to your friend, to your family member. And understanding that unions are positive, that they are connected, and that we are all in this together, and that unions, for more than 100 years, we are the only institution that has constantly protected working people, and everything that we do, every policy that's passed is about protecting working people. We're the only institution that has this legacy for more than 100 years of consistently doing it over and over and over again, despite what any negative narrative is out there. And with that, I want to wrap up the show and thank you all for listening in. I want to thank the city of Redlands employees. Make sure you follow us at Teamsters, at 1932 Teamsters on our social media outlets, as well as, don't forget, this is KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. This is the Worker Power Hour. Randy Korgan signing off.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express.